Hi, love. I want to tell you something that ended a session the other day. Not in a bad way, but so after years of working with somebody, she said at the end of the session, so I guess my next assignment is to include myself more in my life. And the irony is, she has been doing that for years. And what I realized in that moment was she just embodied that that's what she actually is doing and has been doing. So it wasn't this cognitive, like, oh, I guess I have to include myself more in my life. It was like a bodily awareness of, oh, I guess I'm actually allowed to include myself more in my life. So what I said to her is what I want to say to you, which is only for a very specific breed of people. As somebody who really, I struggle if I even don't buy the Boy Scout popcorn walking into a store, right? Like, I do not ever want to be the cause of somebody else's suffering. So this is for a very specific kind of person, not for people who are like happy to make people feel like shit, right? So if you have been narcissistically abused, you very likely have felt so rejected in your life that you would never want to reject anybody. And what that can lead to is that we include everybody's priorities in our lives except our own. So what happened with her is that she actually turned down a couple of things that she normally would prioritize. And they're not prioritized. She doesn't prioritize them for her own benefit. She prioritizes them for other people with the idea that if she doesn't, she'll lose connection. So, and also with like her identity is very wrapped up in like, this is me being a good person, right? Doing these things for these people. But what happened is that the way that she got to her bodily awareness was that she excluded what she normally includes. And as somebody who, like I said, I want to be inclusive, but the truth is my mental health depends on me being exclusive. So I used to respond to every text I got immediately, answer the phone all the time. At this point, my energy and my mental health is dependent on me staying exclusive. So I no longer include tons of other people's priorities and make their crisis my emergencies. Miles, can you go? Come on, out. You're driving me nuts. Get your toy and go. So what I said to her was, I want you to realize that the only way that you got to this place where you can say, oh, I'm allowed to include myself in my future was by not including other people. And just one day taught her that if she, and ironically her excuse was valid because she had a medical issue that day, which was her reason for not showing up the way that she normally would. But in one day, she got the bodily permission to go, the sky didn't fall. And really, ironically, what ended up happening is the person she normally prioritizes contacted her the next day and said, hey, I'm sorry that I expected that of you, and I realize now that I need to hire help. So this person has been basically like the support person, unpaid support person who prioritizes supporting these other people. And when she said, hey, I can't be there to support you that day because I actually have to support myself, this person contacted her, not only apologized for the expectation, but said, I'm going to hire help. So she took a load off of this person who wants to be inclusive, deeply inclusive. But for the sake of her sanity and for the sake of prioritizing her future, when we ended the session, it really was evident that the only way for somebody like this to do that, and that's somebody who wants to include everybody, who never wants to reject anybody, who feels a sense of shame and guilt if we don't give everybody what they want from us, the only way to be inclusive of yourself in your future is to be exclusive with who you carry that self around to and what situations you put that self into. And that can feel very rude, can feel very entitled, it can feel very against the identity that you've had as somebody who includes everybody. But if you are a person who is coming to an embodied space in your life where you go, wait, I have permission to like take care of myself and to to do that thing first. The only way you're going to further and deepen your own anchor into your own self energy is a sad reality, and it can feel lonely, but I promise that like when you get in there, it doesn't seem worth it to do anything else, actually. But the only way to do that is to be exclusive with what you prioritize and who you prioritize and when you prioritize what you prioritize. Yes, you have permission to prioritize your own well-being. And I know that it took years to get to that place for her. It takes years of therapy, of relational understanding with somebody that you trust to get to a place of going like, oh, I'm going to just actually like take care of myself today. Ideally, she'll get to a place where she doesn't need a medical reason to have an excuse to prioritize herself. And that's the danger of this demographic, is that we will only prioritize ourselves when we crash, or we will only take care of ourselves when we're in crisis. And so that archetype of mind will create crisis in order to give ourselves an excuse to take care of ourselves. And we don't need to do that, right? So you can obviously see that the only way she's allowing herself to be exclusive with her energy is if her energy is waning. But imagine who she might be if she was exclusive with her energy when she has waxing energy, right? And what more she could bring to herself and to the world with that waxing energy, instead of going, I only take care of myself when I'm waning. I only become inclusive of myself and exclusive toward others when I am in crisis or faltering. Imagine how big one might get on the inside if one chooses to prioritize that self in your waxing energy instead of just your waning energy, which I know is a big reversal for my kind of person. So I think that it's a scary and sometimes sad and guilt-ridden reality to know that the only way to truly include yourself in your life is to be exclusive. And as somebody who always hated the exclusivity thing and thinks it's like, I don't want to belong to your stupid club, or I do want to belong to your stupid club, whatever it is. I understand it's a hard pill to swallow, but I also think in this case, for that kind of archetypal patterned mind, it's imperative. Have a great day.